Hello world of YouTube, and welcome to another episode of Viral's Movie Reviews, the show where I take a look at movies that you guys suggest, I go to the movies and see, or I feel like discussing. And you guys could have guessed I was going to talk about this movie for two reasons. One, I did a whole tribute to Weird Al in August in celebration of this movie's release, but two, it's one of three genres I only ever seem to talk about in this show, much to my chagrin. It's always one of three things. It's always either going to be a comic book movie, a horror movie, or on the subject of today's video, a musician biopic. But what separates Weird, the Al Yankovic story, directed by Eric Apple, starring Daniel Radcliffe as the titular Weird Al Yankovic, from other movies of its ilk that I've talked about on this show, is that while it does have a first half that definitely feels like a biopic, slash also a lampoon of a biopic, because there are moments that I know happen in Al's early career, like the accordion salesman scene with Thomas Lennon, in which him and Toby Huss in that scene, Toby Huss being Al's father, hilarious in that scene. The stuff with Al and his band early on that I know to some degree did happen. I know that they used to record songs in the bathroom of, I think, the campus that they were near, or like a building around them. And I think that the people in his backing band that are still his backing band today, while not in the movie much, I feel like Spencer Clark, Jack Lancaster, and Tommy O'Brien do a good job at showcasing that heart and camaraderie that they must still have to support Al's craft for so long, along with having sort of a readaptation of an iconic early Al performance during the Dr. Demento house scene, which Rainn Wilson, as Dr. Demento, choice pick. He owns the role, and he has good chemistry with Daniel Radcliffe. I think that it's a great chemistry, a great relationship, and I think that he's hilarious in the movie. There's a pivot point that happens about halfway through the movie when it comes to Al's success that more throws it into the comedic madness, a la what you would see for like a Dewey Cox, something that my buddy CJ pointed out after he saw it that I definitely agree with wholeheartedly. It goes to some outlandish places that are hilarious. I think Evan Rachel Wood as Madonna is great. I think that her character is really funny in this movie. I also think it's cool how this kind of acts as some wish fulfillment for some of the Funny or Die staff that may have made the fake Weird Al biopic trailer 9 years ago, seeing it kind of come to fruition now. Not everything in the trailer is the same, but if you go back and watch the original trailer they made, it's kind of funny how much of it stuck around into the final product as far as introducing tropes seen in biopics and adapting them into Weird Al's story as a whole, while also stretching it again to its comedic peak. I think that creating this other type of movie out of the Weird Al story makes all of the sense, and I feel like the direction they take it in, I wouldn't have wanted to go in any other path, because it is the same strangeness, the same heightened, on-the-nose lampooning that was still going on in the first half, just stretched to its highest intensity. I think it's really funny. I think it's really good. You know, I think the movie isn't as flashy as like a Rocket Man. You know, it's not trying to be this artistic, you know, visual spectacle, but for what it does it very, very well. I think that a lot of the jokes land. I think that a lot of the cameos that happen throughout the movie are really good. There's a scene with Al's cameo, Weird Al's cameo, in Will Forte involving Daniel Radcliffe that I think is hilarious. I think that a lot of the creative liberties they took with this movie are also hysterical. I think that there's a lot of payoffs to longtime Al fans that they would enjoy full stop. As somebody who has been a Weird Al fan longer than I haven't been, I definitely enjoyed this movie a lot. You know, and that could play into my bias as to why I like this so much, but I feel like if you enjoy movies like Dewey Cox, or you like a good music biopic, and you want a good lampooning on it that you would expect from a man of the creative genius that is Weird Al, I would watch Weird, the Al Yankovic story. I mean, it's free, it's on the Roku app, so you really don't have to go anywhere. You can just enjoy it in the comfort of your own home, and I feel like it's fitting for a movie like that to be put on a platform like that, and I don't think it is limiting to what it's trying to be in the slightest. I love this movie a lot, and I give it like an 8 out of 10. You know, it's not perfect. Obviously, it's got that same charm that a movie like UHF has, and I can overlook a lot of the artistic nitpicks that I think people could make as far as, like, dubbing Al over Daniel for the singing, that I think the movie's comedy pulls those critiques away. You know, it's a very endearing movie, and I think that this is what I would have wanted a Weird Al biopic to be, in my opinion. If there were two things I could change about this movie, it would be the inclusion of two actors, Paul Rudd and Emo Phillips. Only because Paul Rudd had that famous meme where he dressed as Weird Al with his daughter for Halloween while he was taking her trick-or-treating. Paul Rudd feels like he fits in with a lot of the celebrities that do make cameos in this movie, and it would have been cool to see him in this. And Emo Phillips is just another in the vein of a lot of the comedians that Al had kind of been around in his early years, and it would have been cool to see sort of included. And at least the Dr. Demento cameo scene, two of my own personal minor nitpicks that I would have loved to have seen changed in the movie, but again, similarly to the stuff that I talked about, doesn't detract from it as a whole that much. But that's just my thoughts. What do you think about Weird, the Al Yankovic story? Have you watched it? Have you not? Please do, and let me know your thoughts on it in the comments down below. If you like this review, be sure to give it a like. If you want to see more of my music, gaming, and general nerdery content, be sure to subscribe. Special thanks to my patrons. If you want to join the ranks to get early access to content, exclusive content, or to help drive the community, it's linked in the description. I'm going to go, though. Thank you again so very much for watching. I've been Viral Rack. You guys have good days, lives, and situations, and I'll see you another day.